coming slowly, and it's because of uncertainty, under doubt, and fear, and just people who are not educated on it. And so we want to make sure that today we come here to get rid of a lot of the misconceptions, get rid of a lot of the hearsay, and put you in a position where you can differentiate, the great companies out there who are representing solar the proper way over the companies out there who are doing it the wrong way. And so I want to make sure that we are on here now. I got the other principal on the line. And so, guys, today you're going to be hearing from a gentleman who, and I'm going to introduce him at the same time, as I kind of tell you who he is. He's an individual that I chose to partner with based on me coming into an industry that I had no knowledge about. But this person has an extensive background, and not just education, but his education came through application and success. And so not only did he create a lot of success in solar for himself, but he also created a lot of success for the people who were, working with him. And so between he and his team, over the last 3 years combined, they've actually helped 2,500 families go solar. 25 households have installations and go from having a big bill that continues to increase and increase and increase to having a bill that was lowered and then locked in, and put them on the easy street to savings. And so with that being said, guys, what I want to do is I want to introduce and welcome to the line my esteemed colleague, business partner and associate, and also VP of sales for Build Network and Encore Solar, Mr. JC Rangel. And so JC, there we go. See you. Moving
Hey,
around.
how you doing, Sam?
Man, I'm fantastic, and I appreciate you taking a moment out your day, again, with all the duties that you have, to spend some time with the people out there who matter the most to us, as the people who are out there actually believing in us enough to sit down with us and talk about solar. And so what I wanted to do is I just wanted to put something together that we can tag all of our Facebook friends and family members in, people who have homes, people who are considering solar or don't know anything about it, that they can come back and watch at their own leisure. And so, but again, I appreciate you coming on board. So, how about we do this? If we can we just kick it off, and you tell us a little bit about, for you from a business perspective. I know you've made millions of dollars of different things, but what is it about solar that has you convinced it's the next biggest thing, but also, it's the next biggest thing for the people out there who are consuming?
Yes. Well, I mean, when we look at essential services, Sam, electricity is one of them, right? Electricity, water, food. So, eh, I mean, if we ask ourselves the question, how long have I been paying my electric bill? Well, forever. If you live in America, the answer is forever, right? How long
Mhm.
do you plan on paying that electric bill? Forever. And as a matter of fact, the electric bill is something that is very unique, because if people fall on hard times, and let's say
Mhm.
they have a hard time paying their mortgage or their car or whatever the case may be, one of the bills that will get paid till the very end is that electric bill. People are going to be able to charge their cell phones at home. Their fridge is going to work and keep the food cold. So it's an essential service. Now, in addition to that, you're in Houston, Texas. When we
Mhm.
look, when we look what happened in Houston that you're going through right now. What was there?
Right.
There was a hurricane, 2.2 million homes without electricity. Not
Mhm.
only are we offering people the opportunity to transfer, to own their own electricity, to save money, to increase the value of their home, but I'll take it another step further, a big step further. We're saving people's lives.
Mhm.
In the freeze out that happened I think it was in Dallas in 2021, you know, whether people believe in climate change or not, there's things happening with the environment, right? I don't get into that because unfortunately that's now a political conversation that I won't get into. But throughout mankind, there's been natural disasters. In California, we experienced earthquakes. I've got a friend that for 3 weeks was without electricity in Northern California. 3 weeks. All the food is gone. Everybody's living in hotels. We don't realize how much we need electricity until we don't have it, right? So, but in the freeze out of Texas in 2021, over almost 300 people passed away, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And the people that were okay, however, were the people that had solar panels with a backup battery system. The grid went down, they didn't go down. They still had electricity. Their heater worked. It's, now granted, albeit essential electricity, they're not going to be throwing a party. They're not going to be using their electricity like crazy. But I truly believe that not only are we saving money, but we're saving people's lives. Not only are we increasing the value of people's homes, but we're saving people's lives. And then on the business side of it, there's a lot of money in the solar industry, right? That's why the careers are growing. But when we look at, for example, America, you look at the government is pushing a 30% tax credit. You want to go solar, the government will give you a 30% tax credit. The government is pushing electric vehicles, electric appliances. It's not a matter, Sam, of if I'm going to go solar. The question is, how soon? How much time until my family and I go solar? So that's kind of where I stand.
Awesome. So when you look at, the market right now, you have people who are wanting to find out how easy is it for them to actually qualify for solar, and what does it take for them to go ahead and get themselves started?
Yeah. So being a homeowner, number one, and having a bill, an electric bill that is over $100 a month. The higher the bill, the more it makes sense to go solar. I mean, bottom line, if you're paying over $200 a month, it's going to make sense. You're paying over 300, it's going to make even more sense. So, and then a 640 FICO score. As a matter of fact, we have some banks that will qualify somebody to go solar with as little as a 600 FICO score. There's no down payment to get started with solar, right? And one thing that people need to understand that's a misconception with solar is people tend to think, I'm going to have my solar payment in addition to my electricity bill payment. And that is not the case. One replaces the other. Now, you will have a connection fee to the grid. That you will have a connection fee. But outside of that, it's a bill swap.
Gotcha. So when it comes to, being able to qualify, is that qualified for loans? What other ways can a person actually obtain solar if they don't qualify for a loan?
So there's basically, we offer lease options and purchase options. There's benefits to both. The purchase option tends to have a bigger monthly payment. Still saves you money, but tends to have a bigger monthly payment. But it also comes with a 30% federal tax credit. So if you could use a tax credit to the tune of 30%, a purchase is a great option for you. One of the things that's very popular too is a PPA. It's called the Power Purchase Agreement. Now, these are not available in every state. So you want to talk to the specialist in your area to get educated on it. But here in California, those are the most popular because it's kind of like a lease option, lease with an option to buy after 5 years. And after 25 years, the system is yours anyways. There's no debt on the credit. The monthly payment is smaller than on a purchase. And the big one is that there's no debt on the credit, but there's also no tax credit. So if it's somebody, like, for example, real estate agents or salespeople, people that get paid 1099 and pay money at the end of the year, though I just sat down with a customer that is going to go solar. She's a realtor. They say, we pay 15, 20 grand a year in taxes. I said to him, well, you might want to consider the purchase option because the purchase option actually had a $15,000 tax credit. So they said, look, we're ready to go. We have a 700 FICO score. The credit is not an issue. However, my wife and I need to talk to decide whether we want to go with the lease option or the purchase option. The purchase option is bigger payment, but I like the tax credit. But I think this year I'm not going to pay as much in taxes as before, so I might want to go with the smaller payment. So they said, by Monday, we'll make it. They said to me, these were their words exactly. We are going solar. We just have to determine whether it's a lease or the purchase that we're going. I said, great. So as a matter of fact, the wife liked this so much as a realtor that she wants to meet me at my office on Monday because she wants to become a consultant with us. She says, if this is how good solar is, I need to offer this to my customers.
And we get a lot of that. Felicia wants to know, how long does it take for you to break even and kind of see the profit? How long does it, as far as like the deal, how long does it normally take to break even?
So that depends on the market that you're in, right? In California, the average break even is 6 to 9 years in California. But here's the deal. Break even is an interesting question, right? Like, because here's why. If you're paying, let's say $200 a month, and your bill only goes down $20, $80, you're already profiting $20 a month. You broke even month one. Does that make sense? When you go with a lease, there's no loan, there's no debt. So there's no break even. It's just, what am I paying now? There's a couple things you look at. What am I paying now versus what I'm going to pay with solar? And how much is my utility company going to go up every year? I'll give you guys an example. Across the United States, utility companies are going up on average. This varies from market to market, but on average, between 6 and 10% per year currently. And I'll tell you why that. So if that's the case, and you're already saving, let's say $50 a month right now by going solar, $40, $50 a month, some people 100, 200, right? One thing to understand is that when you go solar, every year that goes by, you save more money than the year before. Think about what I'm saying. So let's say we save the customer $700 for the year, conservative. Next year, that customer saved probably between $800 and $1,000. The year after that, probably between $1,000 and $1,200. So every year you save more than the year prior. It becomes more attractive year after year after year. And why are the utility companies going up so much? I'll tell you why. This is important to understand. The grid that we are on is 130 years old. Anything that is 130 years old is going to need maintenance and repairs, and maintenance and repairs cost money. That extra money that needs to be paid to the maintenance and repairs of this 130-year-old grid is paid by who? By the homeowner. The utility companies need that money, and who do they charge? The homeowner. And here's a problem. Imagine if you got a rising cost of something that you got to charge the customers, but every day you've got less customers than the day before. That's a problem. That's why in California, in March's bill in California, they said they need to raise $16 billion. Billion. That equals they're going to raise all California, millions of customers, Southern California Edison, 24% in 2025. 24%. In 2026, 6%, 2027, 6%, 2028, 6%. Then they're going to relook at the numbers. And my prediction is another 20+% again. So that's the reason why and to finish that point, 3 years ago, every minute of the year, somebody went solar. Every minute. 2 years ago, every 44 seconds. Last year, every 39 seconds, somebody went solar. So the trajectory is more people go solar, the rising cost, so there's less customers, rising cost of the old utility grid, they got to charge the customers more money. So I tell people the best time to have gone solar was a couple years ago. The next best time is right now.
Awesome. Well, we got some educated people out here and some people who've heard some doom and gloom stuff. So I'll give you a nice one. So when it comes to liens, can you talk to them about liens on homes when it comes to solar systems?
Yes. Liens are no good. Don't do them. The reason why I say it like that is because we don't offer liens on your property. You're talking about the Hero loan or the PACE loan. Those put a lien on your property. You cannot sell or refinance unless the system is paid off. That's why you go with a company like us. We do not put a lien on your property. So yes, they're no good. I'm on the same page with you. That's why you got to know who you're working with.
Right. And when you and I had a conversation at one point in time, when it comes to bankers who actually finance the solar systems anyway, it doesn't prevent you from selling your house regardless of what the status of your solar system finances are. So again, that's just one of those things that I learned from the wisdom of Mr. Rangel. Also, you have some people who are, what about the programs where the government basically pays you for having solar?
So when you purchase solar, there's a federal tax credit across the United States. Now there's some states like New Jersey, Illinois, that you've got some state credits as well. Not only the federal tax credit, but some state credits. Like New Jersey, I think New York too, Idris is from New York, he's one of our mentors in New York, has some very good incentives. So everybody for a purchase gets a 30% tax credit, but then depends on the state that you're in, there's some additional state credits, which are awesome. They're called the SRECs in New Jersey and a couple of other states. So you're that's a government thing. It's not a company thing, by the way. There's no company that's going to offer you more incentives than another company. They're government or state. So whatever one company can get you, another company can get you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Do you have price match?
No, we don't have a price match. We have a price beat guarantee.
There you go. I love it. I love it. We're talking about these are real consumers here, boy. So when you look at price beat guarantees, what puts us in a position where we can actually beat our competitors' pricing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the reason why is this. We are not a traditional solar company. We are brokers. Every one of the reps that works for our company has a brokerage with us, directly with us and our installer. So all of the middlemen are cut off. In the traditional solar model, it works like this. Sales companies have district managers and regional managers, and you've got local managers and directors and managers and executives. It's a lot of corporate structure. It's called the 7-layer dip. There's about 7 people that get paid on every deal. And that's fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's not for me and it's not for my customers. What we do is we have a Costco model with our sales reps. We offer a lot of benefits to our sales reps in the form of tools, help, support, certification, nationwide selling, right? And a bunch of other tools that I won't get into. But our brokers cannot just come and work with us. They have to qualify to work with us, and they actually pay a subscription to be with us. So the company's model is that the company gets paid on the subscriptions, mainly on the subscriptions of its brokers. What that does is that instead of the company needing to make $5,000 to $10,000 on a solar sale, they can make as little as $750 to $1,000 on the solar sale. So now you're saving the customer probably $5,000 to $6,000 on average, because of the consultant is not a sales consultant. He or she is a broker. Mm-hmm. So that's one reason. The other reason is because when we partnered up with the #1 installer in America, we showed them our track record, right? That goes a long way. So I showed them my track record, and we done some incredible things. In 3 years, we did $105 million in sales with no experience, right? My first 3 years in the industry. I don't say that to toot my horn. I say that to let you know what drives the deals that we're able to give the customers. So our installer, whatever deals they give normally on a dealer, we got a better price because we were proven in the industry. In addition to that reason, the model we have for our business in the setup of the brokerage, we're like the Costco of the industry. The reason why you pay less money at Costco is because you pay a membership. Costco makes more money from the memberships than they do from the goods and services they sell at Costco. That's why you're doing it. So those two reasons combined create magic. And I truly believe, you give me a lie detector test, I will pass it. We have the best opportunity for any homeowner to go solar with us.
And you know what? That's amazing. And so when you look at the homeowners here, another one of the questions, as far as like people who are, I just got this. So right now I'm in a hotel because I have no lights or internet. What can you guys do to make sure that that doesn't happen for us? What the solar, go out when everything else goes out?
So yes and no. Solar system by itself will be susceptible to the grid going down. A solar system with a backup battery is not. So what happens is this: whenever you go solar, you're still connected to the grid. But when you have a backup battery, you're storing your excess electricity on the battery, not on the grid. So if the grid goes down, you are self-sufficient. You produce during the day, you use that electricity, whatever's left over, stores on site. When you need it in the evening, you draw from your battery on your property, not from the grid. When there's no battery, you could produce during the day, but in the evening, where are you going to draw the electricity from? The grid. But if the grid is down, you're down. That's why our company offers the best solutions. We offer Tesla Powerwalls. We offer Enphase and SolarEdge. These are the top brands in batteries in the industry. So yes, the customer will pay a little bit more, but the customer at that point has to ask themselves, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth to pay those extra $40 to $60 a month so I can have peace of mind for my family? I guarantee you that the people in Houston today, unfortunately, that have, for example, a solar system without batteries, would gladly pay that extra $40 to $60 for the battery. Gladly, because what is a price tag on peace of mind and security, right? So yes, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's like I said, 2.2 million people lost their energy in Texas. So trust me, it's a lot of people right now who would love to have a solar system with backup battery right now. Let's see here. Okay. So as far as the installer, we hear a lot about installers not finishing jobs and overcharging and overpricing. What's different between your installer and everybody else's installer?
Yeah, great question. So we use Freedom Forever. I'm gonna start this off by saying something that's gonna surprise a lot of people. One of the things that I am the most proud of with our installer is that they have about 210, 220 negative reviews. Now that might shock some people, but here's the deal. It's all perspective. 220, let's call it, negative reviews out of 150,000 installations. That qualifies as phenomenal. That is 0.0018% negative reviews. I don't care what you sell, especially we're talking about, mind you, we are talking about construction jobs. We're dealing with the cities. We're dealing with permits. We're getting on the roof. We're poking holes in the roof. We're changing electric boxes, right? We're doing roof jobs. We're doing roof jobs in addition to that, by the way. So 220 negative reviews out of 150,000. I don't care what business you are in. If you have 150,000 negative reviews, chances are you're going to have more than 220 negative reviews. 150,000 customers, chances are you'll have more than 220 negative reviews. So that's over the span of 13 years. Our installer's been in business since 2011. Keep this in mind. Because we are in the solar gold rush, make no mistake about it, we are in the solar gold rush. Some states more than others, but here's the deal. When you look at where America's going, renewable energy, if you do a little bit of homework, you'll realize, for example, gas-powered vehicles peaked in sales in 2017. Since then, they've been going down. Electric vehicles are going up in sales. That is a clue. Now, because of that, you attract, as an industry, a lot of bad actors, bad sales reps, bad companies, bad installers. So a lot of installers have been in business 2, 3, 4 years. They're only in business. You know why? Because they're a part of the gold rush. So when you as a homeowner want to go solar, you got to make sure that you go solar with somebody that's reputable, that's been in the industry for a long time. You might have somebody says, hey man, I only got 17 negative reviews, but I got less than 1,000 installs. That's 1.7% negative reviews versus our 0.0018% negative reviews. They've been in business 3 years. They're probably not going to be in business in 10 years. A lot of these companies, unfortunately, are in it to make a lot of money. So if they go out of business and they, with all the money that they made and they just ride off into the sunset, what happens to their customers if they need help in servicing? They're left high and dry. So that's why we're in this for the long haul. We believe that for the next 20 to 30 years, we are going to help so many people, but we wanted to make sure that we partner with the best in the business, and that's why we're partnered with Freedom Forever.
Okay. Chuck says, I'm a builder. I've been a builder for 17 years. And right now, I'm trying to find out what do I need to do to make my process better when it comes to adding solar to each one of my new builds, because I can't really set it up until the home is actually finished.
Yes, so that's a conversation that it'd be good for us to have outside, and I'd also be curious to know what market he's in. The thing is this, when Freedom also has that policy, because what happens is there's a lot of changes that can happen between the time they start the project and the time the project is built. So a lot of changes are done for a small system. So we are working on some things for that, but that would be a conversation that we could have outside of this call.
Okay. Terry's a roofer. He said, how would you suggest I offer this to my customers that I've done business with in the past?
I mean, I think we have roofers and realtors and a bunch of other professionals that deal with homeowners. And it's just in a casual conversation. First of all, calling your past customers to let them know, hey, by the way, I don't know if you know, but we opened up our solar division. So in case you know yourself or of anybody that you may know that may be interested in solar, We also offer a $500 to $1,000 referral program. And for our particular customers, we offer a free trip to fill in the blank. For example, we have Las Vegas, we have Cancun, we have a bunch of different places. Connect with your leadership and they'll tell you. But we have a promotion with our customers. For example, in California, Vegas is popular. So we give our customers a free trip to Vegas for 3 nights and 4 days, no timeshare presentation. Now, it's not the airplane ticket, it's a hotel for 3 nights and 4 days, right? So if they simply allow us to present the solar savings report to them, we give them a 3-night, 4-day vacation in Las Vegas, right? Even if they say no, even if they don't go solar. So that is another way that roofers and realtors are saying, by the way, for our customers, for simply getting the solar savings report, you get this trip, fill in the blank, right? Depends where you live, right? You might live, maybe Orlando is a better location for you. So there's like 20 different locations. So that would be one way to go about it. And we have trainings about this, but I think a casual one to just, some people put, roofing and then solar on the other side. Gotcha. But calling your past customers and getting all of your existing customers to know that you also offer that. And then, you start to get the ball rolling like that.
Okay. So Jennifer asks, if I got hit with the hurricane, which I did, I don't have solar now, but if the hurricane would have messed up my system, would the installer cover it?
So that's more of an insurance claim if the hurricane takes off. But I will tell you this, you could Google this. There, Florida gets hit with hurricanes as well, even more than Texas, I would imagine. There's a lot of homes that have had solar that because of the solar panels, the roof stayed intact, more so than the homes that did not have solar. And there's a lot of testimonies of people with that. So it actually strengthens the roof. It holds it more together, right? But anyways, in that scenario, that would be more of an insurance claim. Now, the panels have a 25-year warranty. Anything that happens to them, they malfunction or whatever, that's covered. But God events, right, that nobody has control over, that's kind of hard to do, right? That's more of an insurance.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. I have a flat roof. And I wanted to know if a solar system could be installed on the flat roof.
All day, every day, and twice on Sundays.
Okay. Jeffrey says I don't want solar on my roof. What's the alternate? What's the alternative?
If you have the space, you could do a ground mount as well. So we do plenty of ground mounts. They cost a little bit more money, but you could do a ground mount. So usually people that don't want it, if they have the space, a big enough lot, a ground mount would be a good option for you.
All right. This is the first time I ever had this question. Michael says, what are the environmental benefits of solar?
Well, that is an interesting question because it's even a controversial question, to be honest with you, right? People have different takes on it. So I don't really get into that so much. There's a group of people that believe that is good for the environment. There's a group of people that say, oh, but it's not good for the environment for this. So I don't really engage in that so much because here's the thing. Outside of the positive impact on the environment, it financially, according to Zillow, it increases the value of the home by 4.2%. It saves people money. It is a fight against inflation. It is also a tool to literally save people's lives, right? There's a lot of benefits of solar. So if some people believe in it, some people don't. So unfortunately, we live in a world where something like that is even like controversial, right? So.
Okay. I have another question. It says, how do we sell back the excess energy to the electric company?
That depends on the state that you're in and the utility company. Some utility companies have buyback rates that are better than others. Some don't even have any buyback rates. So that's on a state to state and utility to utility company. But here in California, for example, we have buyback.
You went mute on us, JC. Look like you might have got a phone call.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me, Sam?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Some utilities here.
California.
Yep, here in California, some utility companies have better buyback rates than others. So again, that's on a state-to-state basis, and that's done automatically. When you work with a solar pro and they set you up, you're automatically set up. You don't have to worry about it. It's done automatically.
Awesome. Okay. So right now, California is okay. So Michael from Fresno. Michael from Fresno says California has been solar forever, and you can't build a house out here without having solar on it. Are other states going to be following this method?
Yes, other states will be following that. The
Okay.
United States is going to go renewable energy. This is the equivalent of when Henry Ford was saying everybody's going to have a car one day, and people said, how's that possible? There's not even roads or gas stations. This is a lot more believable than that. So the government is going, and another way of looking at it is this. If you look at countries like Germany and Asia, Singapore, for example, this is normal. This has been the norm. A lot of people think America's like at the forefront of technology. We are not. We are way behind a lot of countries. So Uber, for example, existed in Asia before it existed here. There's a story of some people said that the Uber founders got the idea because they were in Asia and they wanted to bring that here. So, anyways, my point being is what's happening in other countries is what's happening here, and we have more than enough science here to see. That's why so many people join our company and work with us and treat this as a career. Like I said, I just had this customer that says she wants to offer solar to her customers. So yeah, I think the adoption is going to continue to skyrocket here in the next couple of years.
Okay. All right. So as far as panels, what type of panels do you use?
So we use only top quality panels. For example, we have our own panel called the Freedom Forever panel, but we also have Q cells. They're made in Georgia. We have REC Alpha, we have 𝐍𝐎𝐓, we have Canadian Solar. So, and then they vary. Sometimes we have some other brands. REC Alpha, I don't know if I mentioned that. REC Alpha panels are made in Singapore in an all AI facility. No humans make them. It's just AI robots that make the REC panels. So yeah, we use the top panels, inverters. We use SolarEdge and Enphase. Enphase are micro inverters. And we also use Tesla for batteries. Tesla, Enphase, and SolarEdge.
Okay. I'll try to do this like a lightning round. Okay. How long does it normally take for a system to be set up?
30 to 60 days on average across the nation, but it depends on the city that you're in.
There you go. I know Texas has the fastest turnaround time. We heard it's about 2 weeks, but I like to tell people 3 to 4 weeks, as early as 3, as late as 4 to 6. So hey, that's pretty fast for us Texans. Let's see here. What is net metering, and how does and is that online with solar or better than solar?
Net metering is when the utility company buys back your excess electricity. Like when they store it and then you need it in the evening, they send it back to you. It's basically what they buy your electricity at. So they store it and they give you a credit for it. That's what net metering is.
So now that person got a chance to not just get the answer, but now they got a better understanding of the question that they asked. All right.
Yep.
So as far as so as far as warranties, as far as bugs and things like critters that eat away at wires and stuff like that, does the installer cover critter damage?
Yeah, that's all covered by the installer. That would mean that the system is malfunctioning or something like that. So, I mean, I haven't heard of such a thing, but yes, that does get covered by the warranty.
Okay. And for a person who needs a roof, they have an old roof and they need roof repairs or replacement, what would you suggest them, doing in that situation?
We could give them a roof quote, the Solar Plus roof in one monthly payment, right? So we also do roofing as much as we do solar, right? So about 20% of customers, I would say 15 to 20% of customers need a new roof with their solar system.
Awesome. Let's see. Okay. So as far as commercial, right now I have two companies. I have two companies, one in the strip center, one is a standalone building. Can you guys also help me with commercial?
Yes, we do commercial as well. And by the way, Sam, I do have a hard stop at 4:10. I have another call that I pushed back 10 minutes, so we could be on here long.
Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up here. So let's see here. Then I'll take one more question here. Let's see here. How many states are you in and when it comes to residential? I have a lot of family here in the US.
34 states.
Okay. And so, what we'll do is we'll definitely end on that. But and I appreciate you taking the time again. This should be enough information for people who are trying to find a level of comfort when it comes to, solar and any parting shots or anything for anybody who may have a little doubt, a little fear, uncertainty, who may be listening to the wrong people or the wrong rhetoric before you leave. Uh, could you hear me, JC?
I didn't get that. I had a call come in. Sorry. Can you ask that question again?
Sure. No, on the way out, do you have any pardon words for anybody
Oh,
who may have had like maybe a bad conversation or a bad information that's 10, 15 years
yep.
old, obsolete, anything like that?
There is a lot of bad information out there, and you'll be surprised. Very often, people get bad information from their realtor, for example. Realtors are real estate professionals, not solar professionals. Go to a solar professional to get the information. There's a lot of people that give these doom and gloom examples are they're giving you outdated information like the liens on the property, for example. That's outdated information. We don't do that anymore, right? So you should keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is too, bad news always spreads more than good news. There's significantly more happy customers than sad customers. I even have to consciously make a good review for a restaurant because when I'm unhappy, I'm so tempted to do a bad review, and I don't. But I'm way more tempted to do a bad review. And then I say, why am I so tempted to do a bad review when I got so many good experiences? It's just human nature. But
Right.
solar is so much more advanced than it used to be. I recommend it. Doesn't cost you anything to get a free solar savings report. The way that we handle it is we give you an educational approach. We do education first, then we see, and sometimes 5% of the time we tell the customer, honestly, after looking at everything, solar's not a good fit for you. So
Mhm.
that's how we train our people. So those are my closing thoughts.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, and now I'll release you to your evening duties, man. Again, JC Rangel, everybody give him a round of applause, and I'm going to hang on here and continue to answer a couple more
Thank you, sir.
questions and also address a couple more things. But JC, appreciate you. All right. And so we have a question here, and then we'll wrap up one or two more questions. And this question is this: what if I actually have also a person who wants to have solar on their home, but a person who buys that home may not want solar on their home? Because it's kind of like a person who has a need for a home. They love the home, but the home has a pool and they don't want a pool. It's a home with a pool. You either buy it, with the pool or you don't. Next house, the same thing. You either buy it with solar or you don't. Next house. And the cool part about it is, guys, there are a lot of people right now who, when it comes to the real estate industry, who are what we call green realtors. Okay, that's an actual signification now. They actually have people who are specialized in clean living and solar and things like that to sell homes. That's what they do for a living. That's what they specialize in. And so, like Mr. Rangel said, stop listening to the doom and gloom realtors. Listen to the people who go out there and make it happen. Listen to the people who actually have solutions instead of people who listen to people's problems and buy into them. So that's what I would tell you about that. Also, how do I get the Rockets tickets? Okay, so this is the thing, guys, and this is not for everybody. First of all, a lot of you guys are customers of people who have come on, but for my particular customers, my goal is to make sure that the customer wins the deal. So not only will you get a really good deal on your solar system, okay, because I'm launching my business, and that's not about the profits for me. It's about the customer satisfaction and you not just having a great system, but you actually giving a good review for me and good referrals. I'm making sure all of my customers that it don't matter what city you're in, regular city, regular season, regular season basketball tickets, regular season football tickets, regular season baseball tickets, whatever you like, or $500 to $1,000 cash back, or a gift card to your favorite restaurant, a shop regular retailer, or Home Depot. And then also, like Mr. Rangel said, for those of you who actually get the actual cost savings analysis, you're already going to get, a vacation stay. Well, I have a flight allowance that I give for people who actually get the installs. And so all of those perks and benefits come with the install. Okay. So if you qualify, you don't just get a brand new bill that's locked in. You're going to get some incentives that's going to make sure you fall in love with me and your soul at the same time. So that's what this is about. But any other questions before we get out of here, guys? And then we'll take one or two more, and then we'll wrap up. But any other questions before we get out of here? And then I also have a couple other my experts on here as well. So let me look over into the chat here. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see here. What is the status of installing solar panels on slate roofs? Okay. So, Idris, I might need you on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, right now when the homeowner has a slate roof, basically Freedom will come in and do a re-roof for the house. Basically meaning they'll take the slate down and they'll basically re-shingle the house with normal shingles. That's the only way Freedom can do it right now at this time frame. But they are working on being able to install on slate roofs as well.
Awesome. Good deal. Let's see. The next question would be, let's see here. Oh, let's see. How is having your own solar panels better than getting power from a solar farm? All right. Do you want to get that on the edge?
Absolutely. So basically having solar panels on your own roof, you're generating electricity from your own roof, right? So the power doesn't need to travel from anywhere. It's coming directly from your own roof. When you have power coming from a solar farm, usually a solar farm is miles, potentially miles and miles away. So you still need to pay for delivery costs. And that electricity is not only just coming to you, but it's usually going to millions of other homeowners all around. So it's much more beneficial to have a solar system on your roof than getting it from a solar farm.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of different people chiming in. Let's see here. Okay, so I know we have several people who are on asking about sales and asking about making money. Well, what we want to do, because this is definitely for the homeowners today, we want to keep those questions for the person who invited you, or keep those questions for the person who you're connected to when it comes to the solar side. And they'll make sure that you get all the information because I don't want to turn this into a presentation. I want to make sure that this is a resource for the homeowners because I don't want them to feel like this is a bait and switch. But we appreciate those questions, and we'll make sure we get you those answers. Okay. And so, Idris, when it comes to some of the things that people can do to not disqualify themselves from solar, because you have people who, again, they want solar, but they do things when it comes to credit, or they do things that that disqualify them. Are there any things that you can think of that they can do to prepare for solar, or to make sure that they don't disqualify themselves?
Yeah, so a lot of homeowners, in some cases, they may have a lot of trees that cause shade around their house. So one way to make sure that you qualify for solar up front is definitely to either trim the trees around your house down, or either potentially just cut them down altogether. A lot of times there are some homeowners who may qualify in every other way, but the trees create a lot of shading, which prevents obviously solar from working in their favor. Things like credit, obviously that's on a client by client basis, but those are some of the main things I would recommend people be prepared for ahead of time.
Gotcha. Can I go off grid with solar panels?
So in America, not necessarily. You can have solar and battery. That's basically the closest way of you being completely off the grid. But you'll still be connected to your utility company. However, if you have solar and a backup battery, you won't really need your electricity company at all. And that's the biggest benefit.
Okay. And the last one I'll take is this one, and we'll go ahead and move forward. Does my solar panels produce power when the sun isn't shining?
Yes, so this is a great question. So basically, solar generates electricity, or the panels generate electricity off of daylight, not necessarily sunlight. Even in my region in New York, it's not always sunny outside. It's raining sometimes. It's gray outside. It's snowing. And still, if you can walk outside and see where you're walking, the panels are going to generate electricity. Now, in a bright summer day, obviously it may generate a lot more, but any day where the sun is out or there's daylight, your system will generate electricity.
You know, I take that back. I didn't see this question here, but what other products do you sell, i.e. generators, EV chargers, home security, stuff like that? Don't worry about the home security, but as far as the solar stuff, what other products do we sell when it comes to home security? I mean, solar.
Yeah, so we have a variety of solar panels. As JC mentioned earlier, solar panels, EV chargers, batteries, those are, I would say, primarily the main three products that we actually offer for solar specifically. And I know there's some others coming up eventually as well, but those are the main ones surrounding solar.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Idris. And I saw my man Hans in the chat, answering questions as well. And so I appreciate you, Hans, filling in the gap. And so, guys, ladies and gentlemen, again, all of the people who joined us on Facebook, all the people who joined us on YouTube, all the people who joined us on Zoom, we appreciate you spending the moment with us today. Hopefully, we got all your questions answered. And whatever questions that we did not get answered or questions that you may come up with, get back with the person that invited you. Make sure you get those questions answered because, again, what we want you to be is educated. That's the most important thing because whether you get solar today or not, at some point in time, you'll get solar tomorrow. And so that's the most important thing is that if we educate you today and we show you the value of who we are and what we do, you'll come back to us when you feel like it's your time. So we'll see you guys at the top. We'll see you guys at the bank. We'll see you guys at the beach, the other world. And we'll see you guys with solar sometime soon. Goodbye for now.